Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Fashion is taking a vacation from death. The first Forrester fashion display since the Forresters' return is hinted at in the Thursday, April 24, 2025, spoilers for the Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers for the Bold and the Beautiful, the show must continue. They see no issue with holding a lavish fashion show as Liam Spencer copes with his fatal prognosis because, other from Steffy Forrester Finnegan, nobody at Forrester Creations is dying. For the sake of her family and the media, even Steffy must present a positive image. She is unable to show them how internally damaged she is. Since he is still in denial about his illness, Liam won't disclose it to anyone. While Eric Forrester feels like he is back on top of the world, Ridge Forrester has the showstopper number under lock and key, ready for its big runway appearance. Since Eric believes he has years ahead of him, this is preferable than the fashion challenge. Numerous guest stars. Will Spencer and Electra Forrester are amazed by everyone in attendance, including reality TV stars Heidi Pratt and Spencer Pratt, as this is their first major fashion show. The attendees are a who's who of influential people, Will informs Electra. Christine Blair Williams returns to Los Angeles with Eric and Ridge's warmest greetings. She took Danny Romalotti along for a surprise concert and dance in Eric's living room on her most recent visit. On her travels back to Genoa City and the Young and the Restless, she stops off this time while flying alone. She needs to enjoy herself with fashion first. In order for Danny to play the piano at the Jazz Lounge, will she choose a new tiny dress to wear? As anticipated, there are a lot of fireworks at this fashion show, but there will inevitably be a backstage incident. Things are going to get bad, so has anyone seen Taylor Hayes and Brooke Logan? Carter's audacious move, Kelly's thankfulness, and Liam's discovery is at last here. Liam Spencer finds out he has a brain tumor in today's episode. Kelly Spencer is appreciative of both of her fathers. In addition, Carter Walton takes a risk. Kelly Spencer appreciative. She recounts being tucked in twice that evening in Kelly's room. Kelly and her father discuss the wonderful evening. Kelly will never forget the wonderful recollection that John Finnegan shares with her. Kelly comments about how fortunate she is to have both a father and a stepfather, and how her dad constantly supports her. Despite feeling fortunate, Finn assures Kelly that he cannot take the place of her biological father. Kelly is aware. The bomb of Steffy Forrester Finnegan. Steffy Forrester Finnegan informs Liam that he is dying at the Cliff home. Liam initially believes it to be a joke. He then asserts that everyone is dying. In an attempt to have Liam take this seriously, Steffy breaks down in tears. Liam has a brain tumor, which Steffy explains is incurable. Read more, discover the events of the most recent episode. According to Liam, physicians can do anything these days. What about Beth Spencer and Kelly? He has nothing else in the world but them. Finn exits Kelly's room and walks in. Is Steffy's bombshell true? Liam asks him. Finn remains silent, which gives Liam more proof. At last, Finn states that they can only attempt to slow down the mass, they are unable to actually treat it. Liam implores Steffy to keep this prognosis a secret. Liam believes he will be saved by something other than medicine. The seduction of Sheila Carter Sharp. Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown, tries to entice Deacon Sharp over at Il Giardino. Annika Noel's character Hope Logan is on Deacon's mind. He goes on a tirade about Carter's treatment of his young daughter. Carter was chopped by Deacon in karate at Forrester Creations, which he shares with his wife. Sheila is perplexed by Liam while Deacon vents. Deacon says the Waffle King has grown up. Deacon admits that he told Hope about Liam. Given that Carter literally just broke up, Sheila is taken aback. Deacon desires her happiness. Must read, spoilers for the next 3 weeks, pivotal choices and a closer bond between the couple. Carter Walton's audacious action. Carter arrives at Hope's house. The COO doesn't want to be apart from her any longer and misses her. He is reminded by Hope that he failed to stand up for her when it counted. Hope brings up his decision-making without even speaking to her throughout their debate. Hope is beginning to see that she should never have consented to the takeover. Carter acknowledges that both of them made a poor decision. They talk about the wonderful times they had together. In order to create the future they have always imagined, Carter urges Hope to take another chance on him. Liam's fate is revealed by the bold and the beautiful Scott Clifton, who candidly discusses his brain tumor twist. According to spoilers and updates for The Bold and the Beautiful, Scott Clifton, who has won 3 Daytime Emmy Awards since July 19, 2010, hasn't had a major plot point in a long time. Viewers, however, probably did not expect him to return to a major storyline point in which Liam learns he has a brain tumor that is incurable and probably fatal. Scott provides inside information about the startling storyline. Liam is taken aback by his diagnosis. Soap Opera Digest interviewed Clifton to discover more about this unexpected storyline development. Liam will be a part of the future plot, but not the primary focus, according to Bradley Bell, Clifton's employer, who he spoke candidly with a few months ago. This was acknowledged by Clifton, who saw that Bell might believe it was time for Liam to take a vacation from his customary role in the established triangle. Clifton acknowledged that he had been concerned about the sustainability of this arrangement for the previous 10 years. Liam has been vacillating between Steffy Forrester and Hope Logan. Scott talks about the moment he learned Liam would be suffering a head injury. This guy keeps switching between 2 women, not learning anything, and becoming increasingly unlikable to the point where you can't even say, he meant well. Scott went on to discuss waffling Liam, saying, I understood Brad's perspective after that talk. I didn't work much for a while. Then, unexpectedly, I received a script. You can't even defend the character anymore. Someone from the show advised me, you should check out this next episode, which included a significant altercation with Don Diamont, before I had ever read it. I was taken aback when I went to work, grateful for those scenes, and saw that Liam had suffered a brain injury in the end. The brain tumor is explained to Scott. Brad called me a few days later and asked me to come to his office. The brain tum was shared by Bell during our meeting. I'm thrilled to share this story because I've never had such a significant responsibility before. I appreciate Brad's confidence in my ability to manage this, I stated. Now that Steffy has broken the bad news to Liam, the tale is about to get intense. We go through a boot camp-style week of the stages of grief, says Clifton. Scott discusses the current storyline. In a few scenes, Liam experiences a range of emotions. Steffy and Finn attempt to help him comprehend his catastrophic diagnosis, but initially, he is in denial. It was fun for me to represent his struggles to understand reality. He exhibits some acerbic behavior as he starts to come to terms with the reality, suggesting that he is frustrated. Examining these many coping strategies in a brief period of time was fascinating. In the end, he does accept it, and his response establishes the tone for the remainder of the narrative. Liam is willing to wait for a miraculous event. According to Clifton, Liam continues to hope for a miracle even after realizing how serious his disease is. The actor muses, Liam is torn between 2 ways to use his limited energy, as the tumor makes him weak and exhausted, making things more difficult for him to do. He must put his attention first, but occasionally Liam asks, what do the new scans show? Given their past, it's good that Finn becomes Liam's best buddy. Liam frequently asks Finn for advice, such as, do we have any updates, is there any chance? He regularly inquires as to if there is any hope, but he is aware that he cannot rely only on that. A part of him believes that I need to prepare for the worst, the practical approach. Will there be a last-minute save, or is this really the end? The actor is aware that fans are asking whether Liam's story is truly over or if he could be spared like John McCook's character Eric Forrester was at Christmas 2023. In acting classes, there's a saying, don't focus on the end of the scene. I believe this applies to real life too. I'm trying to take things one step at a time and not overthink it, says Clifton, who has decided not to dwell on the story's potential outcomes. We are on this journey together, I would want to tell the supporters. I agree with you. I have only a few weeks left in the filming process, so I have no idea where it's going. I also want fans to know that everyone working on this narrative is doing so with a lot of love, care, and consideration. We genuinely care about it being done well. Hope looks into Liam's death denial, Sheila's edge. Here are the spoilers for the week of April 28, 2025, on The Bold and the Beautiful. Supporters can anticipate that Sheila Carter-Sharp will seize any chance. Liam Spencer refuses to acknowledge that he is about to die. Additionally, Hope Logan will discover that something isn't quite right. Let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. Trouble for Taylor Hayes. You can anticipate the fallout from Taylor Hayes' imprisonment with Brooke Logan next week. Brooke was reportedly getting ready backstage when Taylor stormed in. In the end, Taylor locked them both inside. There will be accusations once you leave. Brooke is going to say that Taylor intentionally locked her in there. Ridge Forrester, though, makes an effort to maintain harmony. Brooke Logan's quest for self. Ridge appears to be staying with Taylor for the time being. That will force Brooke to think carefully. Brooke can't seem to get rid of Ridge, even though she knows it's unhealthy to pine for him in this way. Brooke was at a crossroads when Nick Marone last made an appearance. One of the men that appeared in Brooke's dream regarding all of her romantic tales was Nick. Nick's visit appears to be intended to assist her in making a final choice on her romantic life. The death denial of Liam Spencer. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, viewers will witness Liam's actions after learning of the brain tumor. Liam knows he doesn't want to leave his girls fatherless, but he's not sure what to believe. Liam can have complete denial or sense that something is amiss. Perhaps Liam chooses to obtain more scans and additional medical opinions. This could be a misdiagnosis. Liam is in the hospital, but Bill Spencer is unaware of it. But Bill might be the one to save Liam's life in the end. The man does need to be saved, after all. April 28, 2025, week. Additionally, fans should anticipate Hope's continued concern about Liam. Hope and Liam are going to meet at some time. John Finn Finnegan and Steffy Forrester Finnegan were sworn to secrecy by Liam. But what occurs when Hope becomes aware of Liam's symptoms? Sheila and Luna Nozawa are also present. Is it possible that one of them heard Liam's secret? Could they gain a relationship with Finn by using this secret as leverage? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Wyatt Spencer and Hope Logan might join forces in sorrow. Will these ex-partners get back together after the most recent Liam Spencer tragedy? The news will eventually leak, even though Liam doesn't want anyone else to know about the inoperable lump on his brain. Hope might soon find out what Liam is up against, which could lead to a tough choice. So far, Steffy Forrester has agreed to preserve Liam's secret. However, what if Hope defies Liam's wishes for his own benefit? It would be intriguing if Hope chose to inform Wyatt and the rest of Liam's family. It's possible that Hope will call Wyatt and ask him to come support his brother. Hope might be the one to initiate Wyatt's homecoming because he undoubtedly has to be present for this plot. Of course, it's still unclear if Liam will truly suffer a deadly consequence. Although Liam's physicians are now giving him no hope, there is a chance that a miracle or some kind of experimental trial will come to his rescue. But it's also plausible that plans to tell a true story of sadness this time. For once, they might forego the fake-outs and give Liam a heartfelt farewell as his brain tumor kills him. What romantic ramifications will Liam's death have for Hope? Although Hope and Liam's reunion has been hinted at in the show, Hope may come to the conclusion that her relationship with her ex-boyfriend won't work out. Perhaps Hope might get back together with Wyatt, another ex. In the future, Wyatt and Hope could easily rely on one another as they grieve Liam's passing. In any event, Liam is attempting to forecast that he will remain for Kelly and Beth Spencer, but that does not imply that he will be able to get past his health issues. If Liam really dies, Hope and Wyatt may find themselves seeking solace, therefore there may still be a positive outcome from the loss. It could ultimately be the factor that reunites Wyatt and Hope. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope and Wyatt will ultimately receive updates on some shocking events involving Liam, so keep checking back. Hope is informed by Bridget that Liam is dying. With the fluorescent lights creating long shadows against the clean white walls, the hospital corridor was eerily quiet. Bridget was standing outside Liam's door, holding a medical document in her quivering fingers. She had been going over his test results for hours, wishing that something had gone wrong. However, the figures were honest. Despite her experience, she felt helpless as Liam's condition progressively worsened. She took a deep breath, bracing herself for the next step. Even though the reality would be heartbreaking, Hope deserved to know it. Sitting in the waiting room with her hands clenched over a long cold coffee cup was Hope. Her normally bright enthusiasm had been replaced by a deep numbness, and her eyes were red-rimmed from fatigue and unshed tears. For days, she had stayed at Liam's side, defying Steffy and Finn's gentle pleas for her to take a break. The idea of losing Liam was intolerable since he had always been her pillar of support and stability in a chaotic environment. She felt a knot in her stomach as she saw Bridget coming. It was obvious from Bridget's expression that something was seriously amiss. "Hope," Bridget said quietly, her voice full of passion. "We must speak." Hope gasped for air. With shaky hands, she put down the coffee cup, her heart pounding in her ears. "Is that Liam? Has something taken place?" Wishing she could lessen the blow, Bridget hesitated. However, there was no simple way to put it. His most recent exams aren't good. The extent of the accident's destruction was greater than we first believed. Additionally, his organs are failing. Hope interrupted abruptly, shaking her head as though ignoring the words would alter the truth. "No, that isn't possible. I just spoke with him yesterday. Despite his weakness, he was present. He gave me a smile." "He can't be," she said, her voice breaking as Bridget's words threw her like a tidal wave. With tears in her eyes, Bridget grabbed for her hand. "Hope, I'm really sorry. Although we're doing everything we can, you should get ready." As Hope realized how serious the situation was, a sob burst from her throat. Her Liam, was dying. The man who had supported her after every setback, victory, and turn of events. Her child's father. Her life's love. How was she to deal with life without him? Her mind was filled with memories, Liam's quiet strength when she doubted herself, the way his laughter could brighten even the darkest space, and his holding her close after Beth was restored to them. Together, they had experienced betrayals, reunions, and countless arguments with Steffy, but their love had remained strong despite everything. He was now being torn apart by fate in the most brutal manner imaginable. "How much time?" Hope's voice was barely heard as she muttered. Bridget took a deep breath. "Perhaps less days. I wish I had more positive news." Hope's whole body shook as her legs failed and she collapsed into a chair. This cannot be taking place. Not in this manner. Not when they were at last content. Liam had been so energetic and committed to supporting their family. How could forever be gone from them so quickly when he had promised it to her? Bridget squeezed her shoulder as she knelt next to her. "I understand that this is intolerable, but you are needed by Liam at this moment. He must be aware that you are with him." Hope wiped away her tears and nodded numbly. She needed to be strong for herself, for Beth, and for Liam. However, the agony was oppressive. She took a trembling breath, got up on wobbly legs, and trailed Bridget back to Liam's room. She almost broke at the sight of him. The only indication of life was the continuous beep of the heart monitor as Liam lay still, his skin pallid against the hospital linens. He appeared so frail, so different from the lively man she knew. She took his hand in hers and moved to his side, fighting back another wave of anguish. He had frigid fingertips. "Liam," she said in a tremulous murmur. "I'm present." With a feeble flick of his eyelashes, he opened them and met her gaze. His eyes were filled with affection even now. "Hope," his voice was no more than a whisper, yet it was enough to break her remaining poise. She leaned in and pressed her forehead against his, tears streaming down her cheeks. She coughed out, "I love you. You have my undying love." Liam forced a small smile, his thumb lightly grazing her hand. "I will always love you." Her heart was sliced open by the words. Always. However, they were often interrupted. With her own heart hurting, Bridget took a step back to give them room. Although she had previously given challenging diagnoses, this time was different. Liam was a relative. It was nearly unbearable to witness Hope's destruction and the unadulterated pain in her eyes. Hope held Liam close to her, learning his voice, his face, and the sensation of his hand in hers. She needed these moments, she wanted them to last forever. But the man she loved more than life itself was vanishing along with time. Hope silently vowed as the room came to terms with Liam's imminent demise. She would treasure each moment they had left together. He had always been her strength, and she would be his. And she would find a way to continue when the time came. For Beth. For him. For now, however, she let herself crack under the pressure of the world in this silent hospital room. Because some pain was too much to handle on one's own. Bridget knew that this moment, this love, would last no matter what happened next as she watched them, her own tears streaming down her face. Even when death is present. This story delves deeply into Hope's sadness, Bridget's struggle as a loved one and a doctor, and Liam's heartbreaking acceptance of his fate, all while capturing the emotional intensity of the moment. If you would like any changes or additions, please let me know. Liam and Steffy leave LA for a miracle cure abroad? As it sliced through the night sky, the private jet hummed softly. The only sounds coming from the dimly lighted cabin were the odd rustle of movement and the subtle murmur of the engines. With her fingers firmly grasping the armrests, Steffy sat near the window, gazing out at the limitless sky. Liam lay on a medical cot next to her, his face pale in the faint light from above, his breathing shallow. He had been told weeks, maybe less, by the Los Angeles doctors. But that didn't sit well with Steffy. Something or someone had to be able to save him, or there had to be another way. And she was going to do whatever it took to find it. It had begun with a whispered exchange in university hospitals' corridors. Bridget had verified what they all feared, that Liam's health was terminal, in a voice laden with sadness. Traditional medicine had reached its limits, and the accident injuries had inflicted irreparable damage. However, Steffy had become frantic after Finn casually mentioned an experimental treatment in Switzerland, a state-of-the-art clinic that had before defied odds. She had made calls, done research, and done all the favors she could during the restless evenings. And now, in a desperate attempt to seek a miracle, they were leaving everything behind, including Beth, Hope, their families, and Los Angeles. Liam's eyelashes fluttered open as he stirred. His eyes met Steffy's, and despite his weakness, he forced a small grin. His voice was hoarse as he whispered, "Hey." Steffy gently squeezed his hand as she grabbed for it. "Hey yourself," she said, trying to feel lighter than she actually did. "How are things going with you?" "Remaining here," he said feebly. "Which is quite good considering the alternative." Her throat tightened as she swallowed forcefully. He was attempting to cheer her up even now. That was Liam, constantly considering others, even when he was in pain. She uttered the words "you're going to be okay" with such firmness that it seemed to be genuine. "This clinic has had success with similar cases to yours. We're not going to give up." For a long minute, Liam looked at her, his eyes full of appreciation and something more, something that seemed like shame. "Steffy, I am aware of the risks you are taking. I don't want you to look back and regret leaving Hope, the children, and the business." "Stop," she cut in, her voice piercing with passion. "There isn't any regret. Liam, you are family. You're..." Her voice broke. "You are significant to me. To everyone. And we're taking it if there's any possibility at all." He closed his eyes for a second and let out a deep exhale before nodding. "All right," he muttered. "All right." Between them, there was a hush that was thick with unsaid anxieties. Steffy looked at the monitors monitoring his vitals and the 4-drip next to him. Every buzzer and screen flicker served as a reminder of his vulnerability. How limited their remaining time may be. She recalled the hectic 48 hours, the tense disagreements with Hope, the hurried packing, and the heartbreaking farewells to Kelly and Beth. Hope had been saddened, caught between wanting Liam to have every chance at surviving and wanting to stay where she could be with him. Ultimately, she had given Steffy a tight hug while whispering, "Bring him back to us," her voice breaking. Steffy had pledged. And no matter what, she was going to honor that pledge. As they announced their descent, the pilot's voice crackled over the intercom. Steffy straightened and looked out the window, where the sky was decorated with the first signs of dawn. The Swiss Alps, snow-capped and placid, loomed in sharp peaks beneath them. Their final hope lay somewhere down there, a remote medical center renowned for its avant-garde, frequently contentious therapies. The sort of place that gave opportunities but made no promises. Steffy inhaled deeply as the plane landed, bracing herself. It was this. There's no going back now. The clinic was both everything and nothing like what she had anticipated. Modern but remote, cutting-edge but oddly peaceful. As they examined Liam's data, doctors in immaculate white jackets greeted them with carefully neutral looks. Dr. Laurent, the lead specialist, was a tall, commanding guy with a calm assurance and keen eyes. Mr. Spencer, he remarked, giving Liam a gentle handshake. We have looked into your situation. It's serious, I won't lie. However, it is not hopeless. Steffy felt her heart leap. You can assist him, then? Dr. Laurent was unsure. Yes, our treatment is experimental, but the results are encouraging. It is hostile. Dangerous. However, if treatment is successful, it may stop the damage from getting worse and allow his body to recover. Liam and Steffy looked at each other. What is the other option? Without help? Dr. Laurent's eyes were serious. Your Los Angeles doctors have probably already informed you of this. Silence for a beat. Liam then gave a nod. Let's get it done. The days that followed were filled with painful waiting, exams, and procedures. Steffy slept in the chair next to Liam's bed and hardly left his side, jumping at every alarm and shift in Liam's health. There were times of hope, such as minor progress or a positive lab result, and times of devastation, such as when Liam's fever increased or his discomfort became intolerable. Steffy hung on through it. Even though she wasn't sure she believed her own assurances, she contacted Hope every night to give her updates and reassure her. Every day, Finn provided emotional support and medical insights. With worried voices, Ridge and Brooke sent their love. Then, one morning, a change occurred. Liam awoke, genuinely awoke. He was more colorful. He spoke more forcefully. In fact, he grinned when Dr. Laurent examined him. Your most recent scans indicate progress, he stated. The therapy is effective. Steffy almost fell back in relief. Liam's tear-filled eyes met hers. He said, I guess we're not done yet. The sound of her laughter was half-sob. No, she concurred. We're not. There was still a long way to go. Recuperation took some time. There would be more uncertainties and more treatments. However, Steffy allowed herself to believe, really believe, that Liam may survive for the first time since that terrible prognosis. That this last-ditch gamble had been profitable. She gave herself a moment of silent victory that night as she stood on the clinic's balcony and watched the sun set over the mountains. They had fled the darkness of Los Angeles in search of a glimmer of optimism. And now, in spite of everything, that hope seemed more radiant than before. Together, they would confront whatever lay ahead.